Welcome to this edition of Probe. I'm your host, Carvel Monroe, and on this segment, I really wanted to highlight something that's brewing, that's going on. I would say brewing, I say, because it's stirring, it's rising up. Started out as a small thing, but now it's growing and it will continue to grow, I believe. It's all about the homeschooling phenomenon, if I might say it that way. And I'm actually at the FPEA, Florida Parent Educators Association Conference. I'm here with my wife. I have some wonderful footage. I thought I would capture her in action as she goes through and share about her great excitement. As you can see, she's got a lot of joy. You'll tell that in a minute about this whole thing. But anyhow, I think it's really good to see how a lot of parents have decided, hey, we want to have more of an influence on our child upbringing and what they're being educated on. We all know how the school systems might be across the country. And so some parents, like ourselves, are doing something about it. We have our hands in the pot. It matters who's stirring the pot, my good friend says. And so we're stirring the pot in our young people's education, in our children's education. And so you'll follow us a little bit as we tour and see what's going on in this great event.
We are here at the Florida Parent Educators Association convention in Kissimmee, Florida at the Gaylord Palms, where thousands of homeschoolers throughout the state of Florida and even from some other neighboring states have come to learn more about homeschooling, to look at the vast majority of vendors here providing curriculum and resources for homeschoolers. It's amazing. There are tons of people. You can take a look around. Let's go. Okay, while we walk.
So what is it about homeschooling that you get into so much?
Okay, well, the Bible says that we are to train our children up in the way they should go. So when they are old, they will not depart from it. Training is teaching, and part of that is not just discipline and their life choices, but also education. And that's really important to me and to my family. So this is my father's world. This is the homeschool curriculum I love. Love, with capital L and all the other letters all the way to the E. They have the preschool package to the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and all the way up to 12th grade. And our children get to learn together. It's awesome. Oh my goodness. It is a lot lighter not having the other papers in the back of the teacher's manual. Mine is not like this at all.
We're about to go check on our children who are behind those doors back there. We're like newlyweds. We've dropped them off and we're doing our thing. We're learning, we're growing with all these other educators. On one other note, I've discovered my wife still loves to talk, and every time I try to move on, I have to allocate an additional 5 minutes of talk time for everyone that we come in contact with, especially with all these homeschool mothers, because they have lots to say. I guess if you were sitting around all day talking to toddlers and children, you'd want some adult conversation. And she's trying to get a lot of that right now.
I just came from, what's it called? My workshop was called Combining Classical Education, Charlotte Mason, and Unit Studies. And it was done by David Hazel, who's co-founder of My Father's World, which is a really awesome curriculum.
The FPEA conference have a wide variety of workshops. So if you're a new parent or a parent that just says, hey, I'm new to homeschool and this is something that I want to get involved in, perhaps it's a great place to start. There is a workshop for almost every subject matter, at least to get you through your first season and build you up from there. And not only is there workshops for parents, but also for teens. So bring them in. Hey y'all. So I'm actually late. I'm about 8 minutes late for my next class, which is on leadership and education. Be visible and change the future. This ought to be exciting.
There are some people who say that they can't homeschool because they're too unorganized, their children don't listen to them, and they just can't handle it. Well, I am not organized. My husband can vouch for that. And my children do not always listen to me. But God says that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. As long as you are relying on Jesus for your strength, you can do anything, including homeschooling. The most difficult part about homeschooling? Discipline. Teaching discipline when you struggle with it yourself. Yes, getting up in the morning and starting, and then stopping early, making sure that there are other things to do during and throughout the day. There are other things to do throughout the day. One of the things I most find joy in homeschooling is especially when you may have been working on something with your children and like it seems very difficult to understand or get, but then the pieces come together and it's like, oh, wow, amazing. Like it's like a puzzle being put together, and you finally realize that this piece doesn't go here because it's kind of upside down, and then all you got to do is turn it around and boom, the picture is complete.
Well, I've been having a fabulous time at this year's homeschool convention. I've seen so many people who are filled with passion and purpose about homeschooling. Check out what this mother and daughter had to say about their homeschool experience.
Okay, so I chose to homeschool when Karen was only 4 years old because I started fellowshipping with people from the homeschool community, and I would observe how the daughters interact with the mothers and how close they were to the mothers. And at that point, I only had Karen. So she was the only one I was homeschooling, and I wanted that relationship with my daughter. I wanted us to be close. So I said, well, let's give it a try. And I kind of convinced my husband to do it, even though he wasn't very much into it. And she started reading right away. And when she was 5, she started reading right away. So I moved her up to 1st grade, and we just had so much fun. In the beginning, kind of like I put a lot of pressure on her, a lot of work. I was inexperienced, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't want to damage her. So I did a little bit more than I was supposed to. But it took, I would say, a good 3 years for me to feel really comfortable and understand what I was doing and getting organized, which I'm pretty good at. And then I started seeing how much better she was being homeschooled in all areas. Her social skills, her ability to communicate with adults as well as children her age. Academically, she was doing excellent. Spiritually, she was growing. You know, she was like really into spiritual things and witnessing to people, witnesses to our neighbors. I mean, she was like an example to me and an inspiration to me. So now it's become, now I have 2 more children, so it's become just a habit, a style, a lifestyle for us. I cannot even imagine doing anything else or being stuck with other people's schedule, or it's our schedule. We do what we want. We do lots of unit studies and other things that are fun, and well, actually, at least I try. They're fun for me. But I just look at my daughter now, who's going to graduate, God willing, next year. She's going to do other enrollment. She's going to community college this next year, and I see what an opportunity she has, and what a great young woman she is, what a blessing she is to us, and the big things she's going to do for Jesus, and that's what excites me.
Hi, I'm Karen Geister, and I've been homeschooled since I was about 4 years old. The benefits for homeschooling for me have been, I've really enjoyed being able to have an education that's so one-on-one and it's so personalized to what I need and to my abilities. Being able to get the special education that I've gotten has really prepared me for college. I used to not be so sure about like the way I was graded, because obviously it's my parents grading me, so I wasn't sure how I'd measure up in comparison to my peers. But after taking tests, the standardized testing, I've come to understand that it really has worked for me, and it really has given me an advantage for when I enter college and when I eventually enter the workforce. I don't really think there's anything I've missed out on not being public school. I've had a lot of opportunities to socialize and to interact with other people, so it's not like I'm shut in. A common quote that my mom always says when people ask about socialization, she always says, "It's really hard, but we try not to get too much of it." So it really is the truth. I've come to socialize with people of different ages and different peer groups than I would have if I was confined to a classroom 5 days a week for however many days there are in a school year. So in the end, I really think it's benefited me, and I would not have had my education go any other way than homeschooling.
So what's our price tag for this weekend? Well, let's count it up. We paid about $275 for registration for a family of 5. That's me and my wife, plus my 3 children get to be in a program all day to themselves while we run around and get our hands in this homeschooling thing. Now we paid about an additional $150 for our hotel stay, and finally we put about $470 into our curriculum purchase. That brings us to just under $1,000, just about 900 and something, and it's worth every penny.
Hi, my name is Carrie Quaqueso. I have been homeschooled my entire life, all the way up. I'm 20 years old now. I sing opera. I got my start when I was 11 years old. My voice teacher, and it just has been something that I've loved ever since. I'm going to Peabody Conservatory of Music in Baltimore, Maryland, and hopefully we'll see what happens from there. I'd really love to go to the Met. I'd really love to be at the Metropolitan Opera one day, so God willing.
I had a lot of fun today here at the FPEA conference. It is now done, and I'm going to go eat. Probably going to go into the pool, and then going to go relax. And I made this, a salamander. It's 4.
All right.